speaker for this session we have is Dr. Rohit Shaw Yadav. Dr. Rohit Shaw Yadav is Assistant Professor in the Department of English, School of Language, Literature and Culture in Central University of Punjab, Bathinda. He has done master's degree in English from Central University of Rajasthan. He has also completed MPhil in English and Comparative Literature from the Department of English, Central University of Punjab, Bathinda. He completed his doctoral thesis from the Department of English, Central University of Himachal Pradesh, Dharamshala. He has presented papers in national and international conferences. Dr. Yadav has publications to his credit in national and international journals of repute. Sir, I welcome you in this faculty development program. Without taking too much time because it's already too much late, sir.
Thank you
Sir,
so much,
please
sir.
share your valuable thoughts on the topic. And your topic is, sir, MLA style. Sir, please
Thank you so much, sir.
take your
Thank you very
platform.
much.
Okay.
Let me begin with the presentation. Good evening, one and all present over here. My topic is MLA style. MLA style. So, is it visible to you all now? Okay, sir, can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. So, I'll be talking about MLA 8th edition, which is being used for a style sheet purpose, for preparing bibliography, for giving in-text citations in research and various other purposes, writing research papers. So MLA is basically a modern language association style formatting. It's basically used in various disciplines, various fields, specifically in humanities, and it is a sort of handbook which provides additional instructions, which provides a sort of resources and writing and formatting guidelines in academics. Then it also basically standardizes a document format. It's a sort of standard format which is used by researchers, and it also standardizes in-text citations, and it also standardizes what we can say work cited list. Then eighth edition of handbook basically introduces new way of citing sources instead of providing long rules and regulations. So MLA handbook is basically based on certain principles, certain rules and regulations which are very much important, which are very much core to the research, specifically in humanities. There are some guiding principles. So first one is this basically helps one to cite example, so cite simple traits said by most works. And second thing is it also it also helps researchers to remember that there is more than one way to cite same source, and it also makes your documentation useful to the other readers. So MLA styles basically it is used for the research purpose and in humanities and social sciences. So the purpose of using this standard format is to make a sort of facilitating a sort of easiness for other researchers. If somebody want to go deep into that kind of source and want to explore more things about that particular source which has been cited by somebody in a paper or thesis, then the person can directly consult about the year of publication, about the place of publication, about various other publication done by the same author. So it is when we use MLA style, it is not only for the purpose of somebody who is using it, but it also becomes helpful for somebody who is consulting, who is reading, and somebody can take help from. Then there are some formatting guidelines which MLA offers. It should be on a white sheet. When we write something on a white sheet, then it should be of 8.5 inch and 11 paper, and then it should be when we write anything on a paper, then it should be double spaced, and one should use 12 font size times New Roman, and then leave one space after punctuation. and then all margins set 1 inch, and then indent first line of a paragraph which is of 1.5 inch, sorry, 1/2 inch. Then MLA style sheet also should have MLA style offers basically that there should be a set of header with all page numbers located on the upper right corner of the page. And there has to be the author's last name and page number that is mentioned, that should be mentioned over there. Then there are some what we can say using guidelines as well. If somebody has to use some titles, then one has to use italics for mentioning the titles in the paper or thesis. Then next thing is how to like set the first page of a paper using MLA style sheet. Then it should not have any kind. Suppose it does not have any kind of title page. You are going to begin directly with the paper. Then it should not have any kind of title page. It should be having double spaced, everything in double space. Then you need to list your name, and then your instructor's name, and then something which is related to your contact you can add. And then later on you can put the title of the paper on the center. The example of the same is given over here. Then the next thing is when you have multiple headings to use, headings and subheadings in your research paper or in your thesis, then headings are basically used to provide pinpointed informations about precise information about something, and when topic is very much diverse. So many researchers prefer to use headings and
Sorry, sir,
subheadings
for
in the
sorry, sir, for interruption. Your slides are not seen, sir. Sir, please.
slides are not
Actually, we are not able to see your slides, sir. No, it's okay, sir. It's okay, sir.
okay.
Thank you, sir.
Should I is it visible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Of course. Carry
Okay.
on, sir.
So headings in an essay should be usually numbered. Sometimes they are put in a way that there are no numbers. Then if you put numbers, then they should be put into a way that 1.1. The example is given in the next slide, and I have put two screenshots of the same. In first screenshot, you can see that it has been used the number format, and then there is the paragraph begins. And in the next one, the subheading or heading is put into bold letters, and then the text begins. So examples are like here when we put some sort of numbers and numbered subheadings. So one can use like soil conversion. Then if it is divided in two parts, then the 1.1 is used 1.2. And then when it goes to the next one, then 1.2 it is dot 1.1.2 dot 1. And then again, this is how the format continues. If somebody is not following this format, then they are going unnumbered, then they can first begin with when the level one at the level one, they can put letters in bold, and then on the second level they can put their subheadings into italics, and then in third level they can put them centered or bold, and then on fourth level they can put them on centered italics, and on level fifth they can underline and plus left. So this is how they can put subheadings, and then some minor informations, and they want to like talk about their uh, talk about various issues in a very explicit manner, putting headings and subheadings into their research paper or dissertation and master's thesis. When we talk about in-text citation, some basics. So an in-text citation is a sort of brief reference in your text that indicates that source you consulted, basically that shows that you have acknowledged the person, you have mentioned the person's name over there, that you have borrowed this idea from somebody else, and that basically that precisely escapes you from the plagiarism, which is known as a kind of academic theft. So it's a way of acknowledging somebody. It should direct readers to the entry in your work site, at least for that source. So when somebody is looking at your work, reading your paper, then the person can simply understand that the researcher has cited this particular person. And sometimes it can be understood that what kind of relevant sources somebody has cited, and then how relevant the research is. So relevance of research, or a sort of like authenticity, not relevance, authenticity of research or any research paper or any thesis can be seen based on the points that somebody has cited. Then in general sense, in-text citations will be a author will used author's last name. As we all know that the last name is used in parentheses with page number, and it basically tells us information about that from which page number it has been taken. And it also shows authenticity of the work that has been done. Then next thing is, if we talk about the example of the same thing, uh, it is a sort of in-text example that I have taken this from a screenshot. Wordsworth stated that romantic poetry was marked by a spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. It is a quotation taken from the same, and the half of the line is quoted in the next sentence of the paragraph. In that case, the useful phrase has been cited and the page number or has been mentioned, and then the next phrase which is taken by the researcher, that is cited in the next line. So in the first, the author's name is not mentioned, and then the second it is mentioned. Then again, it uses the author's name and with page number, and page number in parentheses. And the basic way of providing a work citation entry at the end of a reference list, which can be used as Wordsworth. That this is how it is going, with the last name first with the authors, and then first name, and then the book's name, and then publication's name, and then comma, and then the year in which it published. So this is how a entry is produced, entry is used. Then if you talk about print sources with author, print source basically used in research, and these are in the form of books and published print articles, print journals. They are published in book format. So this is how they can be cited. We follow this method throughout the process. The last name will be the first, and then the book's name is put into the italics, and then place was used in 7th edition. Place has been omitted in 8th edition, and place or publication is used for the writings which were published before before 20th before 21st century. If the essay provides any kind of, if if somebody is using any kind of signal word or any kind of phrase or any like small quotation, not big, then somebody can use this format. The example is put like this: humans have been described by Clint Brook as symbol using animals. So the writer's name is, it can be like produced in two ways. First, the writer's name is put first, and then the phrase is used over there, put into the brackets, and then page number is put into the parenthesis. In the second
Excuse me,
example,
your
yes,
video is not, your presentation is not going smoothly.
sorry,
Your
what?
Sir, please show your slides, sir.
slides are not, no,
Sir,
it
I'm
is,
showing.
Yeah.
no, it is
Actually, there's an issue,
stagnated.
sir. Slides not properly display on the screen, sir.
Actually, I have shared and it is just a second.
Okay, sir.
Let me share the screen again.
No issues, sir.
Is it visible now?
No,
No.
sir. No, sir.
No?
It's okay, sir. Now.
Should I start now? Is it visible now, sir?
Yes, sir. Exactly, sir. It's visible. Carry on,
Oh,
sir.
thank
Okay,
you.
sir.
Yeah, next, yeah, we were talking about like when we are using small phrases that can be used in two ways. First, you are acknowledging the writer's name first, and then the using quotation in bracket, sorry, in inverted comma, and then providing the page number. Second way is you are simply using the phrase and then putting the writer's last name into the parentheses with page number. So that is another way of putting uh, quotations, borrowing quotations from somebody else. So if we have to cite somebody's quotation and the author is not known, in that particular case, we can simply borrow that particular line, that particular phrase or paragraph, and we can put simply the title of the article in uh, parenthesis with page number, or sometimes with if the page number are not available, then you can use paragraph number. Then this is how the entry can be put into the works cited list. The title of the article, and then the journal in which it was published, then the year in which it was published, and then date on which it was accessed. Why do we mention the date of access? Because sometimes online entries are removed, sometimes they are removed by some website or some other internet websites. So in that particular case, it is a way of a safer way for researcher to acknowledge. It basically helps researcher to say that the line has been taken on that particular date if that website or that particular web page removes that article or periodical or anything which is being borrowed by a researcher. So if you have to cite works with multiple editions, in that particular case, in-text citation is used as usual, putting that into that particular line, and then the page number is put over there, and then chapter also can be mentioned. So in-text example of like two authors having the similar last name, but first name is different. In that particular case, the initial of first letter can be mentioned as in the example R. Miller is mentioned over here. These this In this particular example, something has been summarized, something has been paraphrased, and then two writers having the same last name is used. Now the next thing is works by multiple authors. When we borrow in our text, we cite some material, some quotations from and some source which has multiple authors. So in that case, the text will be cited as usual, putting into quotation marks, but the first author's last name will be put with at all with page number in parentheses, as you can see in the example. If the authors are two, then you can simply use the last name of the both authors and the page number of the entry you are using. The next one is when somebody has to use multiple works by same author. In that particular case, suppose somebody is taking Margaret Atwood three novels, then somebody has to uh, take that author's novel in particular in the parenthesis and then the page number. So that can be done, like you have to directly go to the author's work, and then that can be cited, that can be mentioned into the parenthesis with page number. This is how one can go for in-text citations. If you talk about citing multi-volume works, so this is another way of citing multi-volume works. Uh, the multi-volume, the volume name, and then the issue number, and then the if you talk about the example of Bible, then the name of the Bible which is cited, that is used in the parenthesis, and then the author who has consulted it, then the page number of it, and then uh, chapter and verse number that is cited within the parenthesis. This is how it can be entered properly into the entry. Then citing some indirect sources, like somebody has some researcher cites somebody else quotation, but we are not able to reach to the main source, and then we are borrowing it from somebody else article or research paper. In that particular case, this is how we can buy the quotation. As the example is written over here, Ritwik argues that high schools are pressure to act as. Now the quotation is taken, and quotation is of Weismans, which belongs to the page number. Sorry. This is taken from Revich, and then it is quoted in a book which we are consulting. So this is how we can cite that entry. If somebody is citing multiple citations from one page, and not just from one page, but from multiple pages, but from one article or one research paper or one thesis. In that particular case, we are borrowing like here we can see a small phrase is taken, then three dots have been put over here. Three dots simply mean that there is a gap between the lines you have taken. It simply means that you have jumped and you are citing source from different, you have skipped some words, that basically indicates. So in that particular case, somebody is jumping from one page to a different page, then you can simply put the writer's last name with multiple pages from where you have cited in the order you have cited in your paragraph, in your paper. In the case of like some works which are basically time-based, if you talk about videos and some documentaries, some episodes, some movies, in that particular case, one has to mention the time duration from which the text begins. The next thing is sources, some of the sources which do not have page numbers. In that particular case, one has to simply mention the writer's last name in the page, in the parenthesis. Then if somebody is like referring to some research, and then that research does not, that is corresponding work cited entry, that is a sort of, and that is cited how, this is how it is mentioned in the example over here. Now moving to the like formatting, how to format short quotations and how to format long quotations. First, I'll be talking about how to format short quotations in prose. While talking about short quotations, we'll be borrowing the phrase in inverted commas with the writer's last name and then page number. This is done as usual. And then if there is question mark, if there is a sort of question mark and full stop, that is put at the end of the parenthesis, not before. Full stop is put before parenthesis in the block quotations, not in the short quotations. If you talk about long quotations, then in prose, if somebody is citing any writer or any quotation which is more than of 4 lines, then in that particular case, that can be put into block format and putting one tab to the right, and in that case the all entry can be put into the right side of the page, one tab, and then the writer's last name is put with the page number, and full stop is placed before the parenthesis in the case of long quotations, not in the case of small quotations. Now the how to format short quotations in poetry. So if somebody is taking like 1 or 2 lines or 3 lines, then lines can be put like one line and can be put after next line, but a slash should be put between the lines, and as you can see in the example over here, so it is put over there, and then the lines can be mentioned, the line you have cited over here. In the case of long quotations, then in the case of block quotations in the poetry, then more than 3 lines, if somebody is taking more than 3 lines, then they can be put into the block quotation format. Yeah, now it is very much important, like when we have to, like when we are reading any research paper or any article or any relevant research material related to our research, we have very many useful quotations and some useful phrases we want to omit, and then next line, next sentence is very much useful, you want to omit some words, sometimes you want to add some words. So in that case, while omitting some words, you can simply use 3 dots, as I explained before as well. But when we want to add some explanation in between the quotation, then you can use like this big bracket. The example is given in the this example, this slide. You can simply use this one whenever there is any kind of tempering in the quotation, then we can use these big brackets, and then we can add something. Suppose we have to, like if somebody has to capitalize any letter, if somebody has to the example is not here in this slide, but if somebody want to capitalize any letter, or want to put that letter into small alphabet, then one can simply put a big bracket and can do that kind of tempering. That is justifiable according to MLA style sheet. So that is way of this basically guides a researcher that some sort of tempering is done in the quotation. That basically indicates, so researcher will automatically understand, the reader automatically will understand that the tempering which is done. Then these are some basic informations we require while preparing works cited entry: author's name, and then the title of the source, title of the container, and then the other contributions, versions, number, publishers, publication date, and sometimes location as well. We need these informations while preparing works cited list. Then author's name is very much crucial. As I told you earlier, that we basically begin with the author's last name first, and then the first name is written. And the example of the same thing is given over here: Baron Naomi S. So if somebody has first, middle, and last name, 3 names, in that particular case, the last name is written first, and then first and middle name can be written in a order. If we talk about title of the source, if we talk about any book's title, then book's title is presented in italics format. As you can see, this is a book, and that has been presented in italics. So book's title is presented in italics. Then I'm moving to the next. If somebody else also made some other contributions, if you talk about somebody has done some performance, or we are citing something from performance, somebody has created, somebody has like edited, So in that particular case, we can simply will begin with the entry like this. The author's name will be in the same order as it is used in other entries, then book's name, and edited by, as you can see, is the example created by. And if you have to, if you want to mention that performance is very much core to your research, if it you want it is very much relevant, you want to mention it, then you can also mention performance by Sarah Misil. And this is how you can mention season 4 episode 10. This is how it can be done in a order. So if we talk about any episode or any film or any documentary, then if you and want to emphasize if it is relevant to research, then one can simply use the performance done by the person, and it has been directed by somebody, performed by somebody. The next thing is, if you want to if we have when we have multiple versions of some book, then there is a confusion which version should be cited, which version should be read. In that particular case, if you take example of Bible, then the Bible is the name of the book is written as it is, then it is King James versions, then you can simply write this as it is written in the example, and then publisher's name, and then simply the year of publication. Then if it has any kind of editions, then you can simply add editions, 7th edition or 8th edition, with publisher's name and then the year of publication, as mentioned in the example. When we talk about our next next when some book has got multiple publishers, and every publisher matters a lot. Every you want to lay emphasis more on publisher. You do not want to stick to just one, what we can say, simply one publisher. You want to mention all the publishers in your entry. Then you can use forward slash and then put all the publishers into the your works cited entry. Moving to the next slide is, when we talk about publication date. Publication date is very much essential while putting it into the entry. The same source can be published in multiple times. Some online versions come later on. There are lot many like publishers who lot many writers who get published from multiple publishers. So a book is published from multiple publishers. So in that case, one has to mention which is most relevant to him or her. One has to use the name of the publisher, which is much more relevant to the user. Now the next thing is talking about the location. While talking about online sources, while talking about online journals, periodicals in our research, one has to use the URL address in their research. Talking about the URL, in giving it in a kind of in a way that simply by clicking on that particular link, somebody can access to your source and they can get all the information. So works cited list is offered with a view to provide authenticity, with a view to explain, with a view to say that authenticity of the research, and then further facilitating the readers for their own consultation. This is how they can reach to the core sources and can go further in the research. Then dates of the publication, that is also important. If some work is first published in 1782, but somebody want to emphasize more on the date which which he or she is using in the research. In that case, one can mention one can mention the year of publication as mentioned in the example over here, like first published in this. You can simply mention about the after the book's name or the article's name, the essay's name, and then it is put further into the after the name of the publication. Then CTO publication is very much important to the writings which are published before 1900. That is very much important because place of publication was very much relevant to the writings according to the MLA style. Then date of access is also very much important, as I talked about in online sources. As I told that there are a lot many websites. Sometimes they remove the content. Sometimes they make some sort of tampering in the content. In that particular case, access date is very much required. And if somebody is using like abbreviated format of the month, then somebody has to use that thoroughly abbreviated. If somebody is using full name of the month, then the person can go that way. So there should be a sort of uniformity in the works cited entry. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Is there any query from participant side? Please free to ask.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
I just want to know that sometimes what happens after the name, there is no comma. That is after the author's name and before the page number. In
Okay.
the text.
Sorry, I'm not able to get your question. What do you want to say?
In the text, suppose if you are writing the research article in the
Yes.
text. Okay, so normally what we do, we write, for example, Arundhati Roy's novel. So
Okay.
we write Roy, comma, the page number 76.
Okay.
So whether the comma is required or not required in the article when we write in the text.
In MLA 8th edition, it is not required.
Not required. That is one doubt I have. Then second one, suppose if what you can indented, just you told me that if it is how many words, if it is more than how many words we can do the indent or quote.
There's a limit. I need to check that. But I have never used like I'm not able to recall, but there is a fixed number of words.
Okay, whether it is 40, 50, if it is goes beyond that, then you have to indent or just you
There's
can.
a- No,
That-
there's minimum limit is the line. If it is more than 4 lines, then
Oh.
one has to indent the quotation.
Okay.
And the maximum limit, I'm not able to recall, but there is a limit.
Okay. Yeah.
Any more question from participant side?
So one question is from my side.
Okay, sir.
Sir,
Yes.
I'd like to ask small
Tamim, you are
question.
most welcome.
Excuse,
Yes, Nagi.
sir.
Hello.
Okay,
Why
Tamim,
the,
sir, please carry on.
sir,
So one
can
question
you
is from
share-
my side. When we are going to have the review of the online publications like the newspapers or something else that is available online. So when we are going to give the citation of the very kind of the newspaper, we mostly write the date of the retrieve date, or we can say access date, and we mostly provide the access date like 29th of March 2009. Can we write down that 29th and then March in the alphabetical order or or a number? For example, March MAR, or we can say write down in the 03. Is the right way? Is it 29 March 2009 in number way, or is it right in is it perfectly in we can say alphabetical manner?
You're talking about that you are like taking some in newspaper articles.
Of course,
And
whether it's
newspaper
newspaper
articles-
article or is something else, but on the print media, non-print media,
Okay, by same author.
of course.
Okay, by same authors. In that particular case, it is researcher's prerogative. You can go by the year of publication. You can cite the oldest one first or latest one first. So it is researcher's prerogative.
So I want to
But
say that
there should be uniformity throughout the works cited entry. You are following the one format throughout the process.
okay, sir. So basically what it is, I'm going to say that when you are going to say that a date of the retrieve date, or we can say access date 29th of March, can we say MA, or can we write down MAR, or we can say or we can write down 03?
No, not 03. You need to write if you are using MAR, that simply indicates that you'll be using abbreviated name of the months. Suppose for November, NOV you will be using. If you are using MARCH for March, then you will be using NOVEMBR for November. Uniformity should be there.
Okay, thank you. So thanks for getting your answer.
Thank
Okay,
you,
please.
Tahanweer.
Yeah, one more doubt I have. For example, if you say that we are taking Michel Foucault's some quotation. So Michel
Yeah.
Foucault in his book Knowledge and Sexuality says that we are quoting that, and in
Yeah.
bracket we put the year of publication and the page number, or just page number is enough.
According to MLA 8th edition, you are supposed to, if you're using, like, if you're using writer's name first, according to Michel Foucault in his book, he states, or he says, he claims, then you are
Yeah.
quoting, and then you are ending your quotation, then you
No,
are
name
simply
of the
supposed
book
to
also
put,
I'm mentioning. Name of
No,
the book
you are
also if I mention, then
you are supposed to put only page numbers. Name of the book can be put only when you are citing multiple books by the same author. You are consulting multiple books by the same author.
okay.
Yeah.
So the year of publication is not required. Only page number is enough.
Yeah, page number, and then last name of the author. And you understand, like in the case of multiple books by the same author, in that case you put, yeah, you can say, if the title of the book is very long, then you can simply put some initial phrase of the book and then put the page number.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Nargis
Is
was
it
there. She
ready?
was asking some question.
Any query? I think there is no query now, sir. All the queries have been answered, sir. Thank you, Dr. Rohit Shah Yadav. Sir, I am highly thankful to you for providing such an informative session, such a wonderful session. Sir, really thanks from core of my heart, sir. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you
sir.
very much, sir, for providing me this platform to interact with academicians and researchers from various parts of the world. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. I'm
Uh,
also thankful.
Thank
I'm
you,
also
sir.
thankful to organizing body of Government Degree College Tangmug for conducting such a beautiful program. And at last but not least, I'm also thankful to all the participants who today made this program effective and successful. Thank you all, and Allah Hafiz.
We need your email ID, sir.
Okay, sir. Please share your
Okay.
email ID on screen.
Can I put
Please
it
share
into
it on
the
screen,
chat
sir.
box?
Okay,
Chat
sir.
box is not available at this particular time. Okay, I need to put it into the.
Sir,
Go
I
ahead,
would like
fine.
to ask a small question.
Yes, please.
Okay,
Can
most welcome, ma'am.
Sir, these Bible things, small things you were telling, is it particularly vogue today in this present time to put up or sketches of that and these paper presentations? In vogue, or is it really like that? Materials coming like that here through colleges?
Sorry, I'm not able to, you're not audible.
Sorry, ma'am.
I'm not audible.
Yeah, you are not audible.
Okay, 1 minute.
Please have a look at my email ID. I have saved.
Okay. Sir, is it clear now? Voice is clear?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, ma'am, carry on. Now it's
Ah.
clear.
Sir, I'm asking, you repeated some words about Bible typing on this works cited things. I'm just asking, is it just enough to mention Bible and that's all, or should we write, because in Bible itself there are so many things, no, like in other books are also there. So if you just simply mention Bible, we cannot correctly point out to that particular incident in that thesis.
No,
Yeah.
exactly. You are saying it right, but I mentioned in my presentation that the Bible and then the name of the version. Okay, King James
Yeah.
Authorized Version. I mentioned the next, and then the year of publication, and then this is how like publisher's name, and then the year of publication. This is how I explained.
Like
So the version.
screen, like the in screen thing, like that there is in screen thing. It is not, they're just writing this, it is not possible to locate it. You have to mention another book's name in spite of adding KJV, Bible, like that. Like you have
Okay.
to write Ruth, then you have to write Esther, like that. Books names also are there. So that books, can we also write that in the works cited list?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
One has to write that as well.
okay, okay, sir. Thank you, thank you,
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I have
Thank you so
shared my
much for-
email ID. If you have like noted, you can write any queries and any questions. You can contact me on the mentioned email IDs.
Okay,
sir.
thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
And
you so much,
thank you,
Sayed sir.
everyone. Okay, Allah Hafiz. Allah Hafiz, sir. Thank you.